All right, we all know how important it is to wear a seatbelt, but a new report from the Missouri State Highway Patrol shows that fatal car accidents in Missouri are actually increasing due to decreased seatbelt use. What's with that, show me, State? Here to talk about the importance of buckling up is Andy Crouppen of Brown & Crouppen. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
I'm glad that you're not taking the anti-seatbelt vantage point. That would just be awkward.
Yeah, it would be tough. Tough position.
So there's this kind of semi-disturbing thing happening in Missouri where the Highway Patrol is saying if current trends continue, we're a little less than halfway through the year, this may be the first year since the mid-2000s, 04 or 05, that we actually see an increase in the number of fatalities from people not wearing their seatbelts.
We should be so proud of ourselves here.
No, not really. What's the deal with that?
Well, apparently, the difference is, if you contrast us with a state like Illinois that has a primary seatbelt law as opposed to a secondary seatbelt law, the difference is in a primary seatbelt law state, they can pull you over just because they observe you not wearing a seatbelt, whereas in Missouri, a secondary seatbelt law state, they can only give you a ticket if they've pulled you over for some other reason and noticed that you're not wearing your seatbelt.
So in other words, the highway patrolman on the side of I-70 is not going to pull you over because you weren't wearing a seatbelt, but he might pull you over because you were speeding and up the fine a little bit or give you another citation for not wearing a seatbelt.
Right.
But east of the Mississippi, they can literally pull you over for nothing other than not wearing a seatbelt.
Right. So apparently we're the make me state, not the show me state. It makes a big difference. Over 70% of traffic fatalities in Missouri are people not wearing seatbelts. And I mean, think about that. If you don't want to die in a car, just wear your seatbelt. I thought, you know, when I was in high school 20 years ago, maybe a little more, before all these seatbelts really started nationwide in the mid-'80s, you know, the seatbelt usage rate was like 15–20%. And then they started having these seatbelt laws, and I guess you have to force people to do it, but now that they've done it, the national average is like 86–87% of people are wearing seatbelts. And the way they do that is they literally sit on the side of the highway and count traffic going by in different spots across the state, see how many people are wearing seatbelts and see how many aren't. In Missouri, a secondary state, we're about 7 points below the national average on seatbelt usage. Now, what makes it worse is that's overall. With teen drivers, the most vulnerable, the newest, the worst drivers, over a third of them aren't wearing seatbelts, whereas over in Illinois, it's about 20 points higher, almost 20 points higher.
Wow.
Yeah, you have like 85% of the people wearing seatbelts over there, teen drivers. So this primary versus secondary enforcement really is a big deal.
You know, there's a pool of thought out there that says you can't fix stupidity with laws. Right. But this bit, you know, you can't legislate stupidity. But this kind of sounds like, I mean, just comparing the numbers in Illinois to Missouri, where there's like a 15 or 20% gap between seatbelt usage, kind of sounds like it is having a positive impact.
Oh, it absolutely is. And, you know, I understand the argument that we can't make laws to force people to do everything. Right. But, you know, this has a real impact on other people. It's not just hurting yourself. They estimate that just changing it to a primary seatbelt law state, Missouri, the impact on the economy by the saved cost of the people who, the lives that will be saved, they estimate it's $100 to $200 million in cost savings for the state. So that's big. You know, that affects all of us.
Food for thought. Consider that. Andy, thank you very much. If you have a legal question for Brown & Crouppen, email us at greatday@kmov.com. If you live in Missouri or Illinois and you're not wearing a seatbelt, for heaven's sake, just